Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Sorry my voice is a little scratchy this morning. I have a little bit of a sore throat. So I wanted to take you vintage shopping with me. I recently went to a vintage shop. If you watch a couple of my last vintage shopping videos, you'll know that when I went to some of these, I noticed that they were sort of getting more and more sparse. As you can see, like these shelves normally at this particular location are packed. There's usually so much stuff on each shelf, and you can see there's just very few things on each shelf. I did notice that there were some booths that normally have a lot of extra tables covered with items. The tables had been removed, and they really just had stuff around the edges. Tried to get as many prices as I could. This particular piece was really pretty. I almost bought it, and the price was actually really good. But I have learned in just selling and reselling vintage items that a lot of the really small pieces just don't sell that fast. I think you have to have a particular application for something really small, like putting on a stack of books or in a particular place. But when you have a lot of really small decor items, then nothing really stands out. So I have a lot of small pieces that I love that I know will eventually sell, but yeah, I try not to buy too many more small pieces. I like the medium or the larger size. Although shipping costs have gone up so much that some of those larger pieces are just cost prohibitive to actually sell. So, anyway, I always find lots of costume jewelry. There were a couple pieces that were kind of interesting, but I don't really sell costume jewelry or even vintage jewelry, so I'd like to look at it, but I didn't really buy any today. Some of the other things I see, I'm still seeing a decent amount of Pyrex and Corningware. And then I thought that Nike sneaker necklace was actually really pretty. It's not my style, but I thought it was really cute. I think you could do something really cute with it. Not me particularly, but I also don't wear jewelry. I mean, once I started working from home years ago, I pretty much haven't worn jewelry hardly at all. So anyway, I thought both of these pieces were pretty interesting. This looks like something I would buy and sell, but I can't remember why I didn't buy the one that vase right there I'm picking up right now. That I didn't purchase because it's one of the smaller pieces, and I just find, like I said, that getting these pieces are that piece is really pretty, but it just they don't sell. People want something a little more substantial. So anyway, let's see if we can look around at a few things. There are always a decent amount of vintage and antique books. These were pretty interesting. These are like more medical. A lot of these were medical books and things like that. So a lot of times I think people get these from yard sales when someone's cleaning out an attic, and then a relative had medical books or some particular subject books. Ducks are pretty common in vintage items, and these little hens, or were they Cornish hens? I'm not sure. Those were actually really cute, but that looks like something I've seen in Home Goods. These glass grapes, I know they're really popular when I was growing up, but that one just looked like it was missing grapes. It was pretty, but yeah, no, I didn't get them. This piece was pretty, but again, it's small. And then if you look over here, there are blue grapes, and they were a little meager too. A lot of the stuff I looked at was just small pieces, and a lot of the prices were pretty high for the items. This basket was really pretty. One thing you can definitely get at antique stores and vintage stores are really pretty baskets. But again, the prices were so high. The other thing that was really, really high were clothes. I always like to look at the vintage clothing, but the prices were just crazy. Like they had one location, one booth had a ton of Levi's, and they were all like $80 plus, and they weren't even the vintage ones. They were actually the newer tags. So I don't know. I didn't look like anyone had purchased any of them, but I think it's because of the price. And then this little marble. I think it's like is that a pestle? I think a pestle and mortar and pestle. Not sure what it was. I was trying to figure out what it was. I took the top of it out, and then I couldn't get it back in because when I was trying to put it back in, the shelf was in the way because the piece didn't fit. If you couldn't take the piece off, that top part off, and look at it without pulling it out of the shelf a little bit. So that was a cute little piece. Yeah, I saw a lot of nice stuff. Not a lot of stuff I loved or that I'd want to resell. And also, I don't need anything else for my house. That was interesting. Rich Man, Poor Man. And I think they even had a book like Rich Girl, Poor Girl, buy another vintage book or something along those lines. this was an interesting booth. That the chairs were pretty. There was a really beautiful full-size bed. It was a solid wood carved bed. I would love to have it, but I'm not moving from my house. If you've watched my other videos, you probably know that I'll be an empty nester in about 10 or 11 months from now. I'll be selling the house I'm in and buying something that I've always wanted. I've always wanted to have something with land around it. And so, yeah, I do want to redecorate the house. I don't mind buying a fixer-upper, something I have to do DIY on. I've done that before at multiple houses. But I do want some land. And when I do get that house, although I'm downsizing, I want to have at least one bedroom that has like an old carved bed in it, with some mixed with some more modern pieces. So I'm pretty excited about redecorating and sort of starting from scratch in a new house. And hopefully that'll be the last house I live in. It should be. So it's definitely a little big. It's going to be smaller than what I have now, but yeah. And these metal buckets, these metal tins are so pretty. Like the square one back there that you just saw was really pretty. This was $79 as I recall. Yeah, I think it's really, really pretty. I don't know if that's a good price or not. Maybe somebody watching this knows. I don't know. It seemed kind of high, but again, I don't purchase Pyrex or Corningware vintage. So that candlestick was $99. And yeah, the rest of the stuff, like a lot of the stuff was just really high, and then a lot of the stuff was just picked over, or either they just haven't replenished it. I have noticed finding mid-century modern pieces is just really hard. I think I found 3 in this entire mall, and I think this mall is listed at like 80,000 square feet. And I found like 3 pieces in there. Maybe I missed some, but of what I looked at, I just didn't see anything. This was a little metal tin. It was really pretty. Again, I don't need that, but it was cute. Let's see. That was actually nice. It was $40, but it was a really small vase, and it didn't look like... There's a lot of pottery pieces out, and it just... That one was handmade, but it just didn't, I don't know, I didn't get it. I do like it though. But anyway, and I was looking for embroidered kitchen towels, but like the thinner, almost like linen ones, or 100% cotton. And I found some, but they were new and they weren't vintage. So I was really looking for something that someone had in their attic maybe, or someone donated, when someone no longer needed it. But yeah, this little piece was really pretty. I really liked that piece. And the price was really good. It was only $16. I thought it was super pretty. But I turned it over and it didn't look vintage. It was basically Corningware, and it said made in China. So I think that's fairly new. So it's not that I wouldn't get it. I just don't need it. And if I'm going to collect vintage, I want to get actual vintage pieces. And yeah, there was a lot of really pretty stuff. Not a lot of furniture. I'm used to seeing a lot of furniture. I had those duck canisters, which is funny is I had those when I think I was in my early 20s. I remember those. This coffee maker was so nice. I loved it, but it was missing the plug, which I think you could probably maybe find something that would work, but this coffee maker was super cute. I've never seen one like that before. And there's a little bit of brass, not too much. I did see some holiday decor. There was actually a couple booths that had just Christmas decor, which that's pretty common this time of year. A couple of people will empty out their booths and bring in the holiday decor. You can see a little bit of Thanksgiving and Halloween decor in this booth. And then, yeah, there was just a lot of really nice stuff. I was kind of surprised that a lot of the booths were a little empty. This was actually a good price. It's funny because I found one booth, and I think it's in here. I think it's just this one. 50% off except items marked as firm, and every single thing I picked up was firm. Like I kept thinking, oh, that's really good. I picked up this piece, firm. The piece I picked up before, firm. And it wasn't a bad price. If you're buying it for yourself, these prices aren't bad. But when you're reselling, these prices would never work. This piece was really pretty. It was $35. It was pretty. But yeah, it was funny because everything I said, oh yeah, everything's 50% off except firm. And then everything I picked up was firm. Anyway, and then what else? Let's see. I'll probably let you walk through here a little bit with me and look at things. And then I'll catch up with you shortly. And this booth, I like that wicker cabinet there. I really like mid-century modern furniture, but I do like some of these older pieces, like the wicker pieces are really pretty. If they're not too tropical looking, I think that I can merge those into my decor style. That blue thing was really pretty. It's not my decor, but that was really pretty. And it was just, I like the color of it, and it was just really pretty. And then there were a few vintage toys. There was one booth that had all vintage toys. There's still booths there. I still see booths that have albums. I don't know if people still listen to albums, but I did see a lot of vintage albums. Normally I see people at those booths looking through the albums. I didn't see anybody there today. There was another guy there. He was looking at stuff. He was a reseller, and he was looking for vintage toys to sell, and also hard goods. He was looking for hard goods that were still in the box. And he had a buggy full of stuff, but he was looking for hard goods, and I was looking more so pottery or planters or wood pieces. I love wooden pieces. And you can always tell if a wood piece is vintage or not. What I do is I smell it. I know I've talked about this in my videos before, like smelling pieces. My brother laughs at me when he goes with me because I'll say, smell this. Does it smell like old? And you can tell wood pieces will absorb the smell and where they are. And they smell old. And, you know, you smell these pieces that look vintage and they smell new. So I always try to smell pieces to see if they're really vintagey. I know that's probably weird. This piece in the back was really pretty, and I really liked it. I got a piece from Goodwill one time. It was a stone planter, and it was signed by the artist on the bottom, and it was, I think they charged me $5 for it, which for Goodwill's, you know, for that little piece, it was it seemed kind of high. It was probably about 5 inches, 6 inches tall, and it actually ended up being this really sought after artist. It was a heavy, super heavy stone. It was a vase. I can't remember the guy's name, Lee something. Anyway, I sold it in my vintage store for $40, and it sold super fast. So I always pay attention when I see these pieces of marble or stone that look pretty heavy, and just check the bottom of them to see who the artist is. This pink house was super cute, but it was just stationary. You couldn't really play with it. It was just for looks. It was cute, but I didn't really, obviously I don't need that. It's not kind of stuff I try to sell. And then let's see. I did find a lot of cowboy boots. So I have 2 eBay stores. I have a clothing eBay store, and I have a vintage home decor vintage store. It's actually not a store, it's a shop. I don't actually have a store on eBay. I have a shop. And the difference is, a store you actually pay for a storefront, and then with the shop you just have an account and you sell items. So, but I do have the clothing one, and I always check out the boots because boots are super popular. Used boots. I mean, I've seen people on eBay sell used boots, cowboy boots, for hundreds of dollars. People love them. The more beat up they seem to be, and the more vintagey looking, people like that. I don't think people like to buy new boots and then have to wear them in and make them look like they're worn. I think they want to look like they just got off the farm or something with them. I'm not sure, but I've seen boots sell for hundreds of dollars that were just so beat up and dirty, and people want them just the way they are. This piece was really pretty. It was a secretary. I haven't seen one like this before. It was a decent price, $4.95. I saw a lot of crystal pieces. You know, crystal pieces just don't move for me. Like my vintage decor store, if I have a crystal piece in it, it will sit forever. Forever. And no matter how pretty it is, how heavy it is, vintage, it doesn't matter. I don't know if you just noticed that that little cast iron frying pan that was just in that one booth. I started buying cast iron. I bought new cast iron though, but I've been looking at cast iron. There was a cast iron booth here. I wish I'd gotten a picture of it. Just had nothing but cast iron in it. But the cast iron frying pans were hundreds of dollars, and that's probably normal. But someone like me who's just started to use cast iron, that was shocking. I couldn't believe it. Like there was one that was like $700 and something. It was a frying pan, and it was dirty. Like it was, you know, didn't look new. It didn't. I mean, obviously that's what they're supposed to look. I guess maybe, I don't know. I'm still learning about cast iron, but And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about working with it because I know that you have to be careful, but I'm just watching videos on YouTube to try to figure out how best to take care of it and season it. But yeah, shocking how much cast iron is. I don't know if that's something that's well sought after, but if you see that at a garage sale and you're a reseller, or you just want to sell something and you have cast iron, don't donate it to a Goodwill. Definitely try to sell it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something like that. Let's see what else. Let's see. This was a really cute booth. That furniture piece was actually cute. It looks like someone tried to rehab it. And then that apple I really liked. I can't remember why I didn't buy it. It was pretty heavy. It was only $12. I don't remember why, not the apple, sorry, it's a pear. But I can't remember why I didn't buy it. I think because I already have a couple pieces of fruit in my vintage decor store. And then let's see what else. Yeah, everything else is pretty nice. But again, a lot of these pieces look new. There were some Pyrex there, really pretty. I love these pieces. I love that like autumn colors. But I don't know. I don't know how the prices are. Like I'm just looking at that stuff for the first time. I don't sell that in my store, but I really am interested in collecting a few pieces of that. But the prices vary wildly. Um, yeah, I don't know. Some of these pieces are really cute. Like that little bowl, that little bowl with the lid was pretty. And then, of course, everything was on sale 35% off except Firm, and everything I picked up was Firm, of course. So, anyway, a lot of crystal, a lot of really good pieces, cookbooks. I love getting cookbooks from vintage stores. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed going with me today. And, if you need something, check out a vintage store in your area. Check out Goodwill. A lot of these pieces were probably found by these resellers that own these booths in Goodwill, also estate sales or yard sales. I haven't been to a yard sale in so long. I really want to go, but honestly, when Saturday comes, I have so much to do. And with running those two side businesses and a full-time job and trying to take care of a house, the time, where's the time? So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will be posting more videos. My next video will be a garden video. I had said in one of my videos I was going to post some of the things in my yard that I recommend buying, and then what some of them look like in bloom when they're not in bloom and things like that. So my next video will definitely be a garden video. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful week and everything's going great in your life and you take care of yourself, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great week.